What's up, everybody? Welcome to the OG Sports Show. We are in week 2. It's your boy Chuck.
Slow motion.
And B.
Going on, fellas? What's
Not a
good? What's
thing.
good?
Chilling,
What
man.
y'all been up to?
Fat boy season about to start.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Sun
sir.
going down a little sooner. It's gonna get a little chilly out here.
Yeah.
We're
in Florida. It ain't gonna be chilly.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I mean, it'll hit like 55 maybe.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
but
then
that's
it'll
enough
be
for
at 80 in
a single lady to look for a fat boy to cuddle up to.
Whoa. I'm married.
I'm speaking in generalities.
okay,
I'm not talking about you.
Okay. all
Yeah,
right,
just
all
in
right.
generalities.
I'm ready to eat. Yeah.
I feel you. We did a bunch of shopping, me and the old lady, last couple of days. So
you do the Black Friday. Well, really not much of a Black Friday this year, but
Nah, they've been doing that.
no, it's gonna be black. They didn't change it to Black Thursday now. It starts. You
Yeah.
can't even finish your food. You gotta go out get in line at Walmart to
Still
get a
fucking
bicycle for $3.
8 o'clock in the goddamn. 8 o'clock at night. Trying to get some stuff on Thursday. I'm glad I don't do all that. I wait for Cyber Monday.
Me either, man. My kids is they of age to where everything they want I can just order it online. I ain't getting in line to buy nothing no more.
I'm not doing it. But my son wanted to do Xbox. He gonna get in line. I said, son, I'm not gonna do it.
Good luck to them.
Yeah.
So you better be ready to tussle.
Walmart had released it Thursday, but he didn't. You know how it was.
I ain't tussling with nobody for no game system. I wait to January to get my PS5.
I'm not tussling for nothing. So
I mean, you don't really play it like I do. So
no, I retired a little bit, but I might get back on it. You know what I'm saying?
You're a gamer.
If I'm able to get my hands on one, I might get
Yeah,
back on it.
Yeah, I'm in a Madden league online, connected franchise. Got 22 people in our league, so I still play 2K. Yeah, I mean, video games for me, it's a big part of my life, man. I've been playing since Atari.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that, bro.
If they ever bring back NCAA football,
It's a wrap.
I'm on it.
Madden's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
yeah,
Madden done.
That was
Then
my
I'll
thing.
be back. I'll be truly back on it every day if they bring back NCAA football.
That was my thing, man. But I understand the reason why they had to go away. The guys.
I mean, it's just an extension of the slave ship. That's why they had to shut it down.
They had
But
to shut down.
we ain't gonna get into that. Y'all ready to get into it, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Well, slow what the lick read.
What the lick read for week 2? LaVar Ball is the first daddy to have 2 boys that was drafted in the NBA draft, first round, top 5. And that's a big accomplishment.
It's a hell of a feat, bro.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a feat. I'm not quite ready to put him in the category with Joe Jackson,
Joe Jackson.
Venus and Serena's daddy.
Right.
Who else could I name that? Whose daddy was in charge? And
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson, Venus and Serena's daddy.
Nobody's going to top Joe Jackson.
No.
No, so,
Really?
I'm not ready to put him in that category yet. He's at the table though.
He created Michael.
I mean, you're right. And Janet.
He did.
And Janet.
LaVar is at the table.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't anoint him just yet because the jury's still out on Lonzo,
Right.
and we don't know what the other nigga with the L name is gonna do. Which LaMelo.
LaMelo and the other one, LiAngelo.
LiAngelo.
The middle
Jello.
child.
The middle child's he in the G League, so
He
I
was
mean,
trash.
The middle child. Is it me? Like, man, as a middle child, you are. I'm on
Yes.
the child. Are you middle child?
Yes, I'm in the middle.
Okay, so two middle children right here. The oldest user is the one who has all the pressure. The middle child ain't really got to do shit, and then the youngest child is like, I'm gonna be better than all these motherfuckers.
now see, you saying the middle child ain't gonna do shit, you already messing up. Okay.
Yeah, because it
Because-
wasn't like that for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the layout of
Ain't not gonna do
of the
shit.
life of a middle child.
I'm sorry, not gonna do shit, but is it, I guess they won't be able to be as good as the.
They don't have the same expectations as the older child.
Okay.
Okay.
And the drive
But
the drive of the younger child.
I don't want to say the drive, but they have what the middle child's drive is self-imposed, as well as the expectations. Because you want to live up, you're trying to live up to what your older brother did, And you don't want the little brother to show you up.
Right.
Like for me, I was one of four. Okay, it was 3 boys and 1 girl. My older brother was the oldest. My sister came after him. She's the only girl. Then it was me, and then it's my little brother. So I was truly a middle child. Everybody had a title except me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the pressure was put upon me. The little middle child got to stand out somehow. So I'm sure, you know, what's the other cat's name?
Leangelo.
Whatever the hell.
Leangelo.
I'm sure a lot of pressure he put upon himself to try to be as good as Lonzo, and then still try not to let the younger one catch him.
The younger brother.
The younger one's gonna be better than both
all
of them. He is. But to get back to LaVar, you know, take away all the antics and all the craziness that he did, and the $500 shoes that nobody really wanted.
Right.
The dude did get 2 of his kids drafted in the top 3 in the draft?
Yeah, top 3 or top 5.
I mean, if those 2 pan
yeah,
out,
it's top 3.
let's just say they have 10-year careers, okay? He's up there with Archie Manning, bro. He got to be. He got to be up there with Archie Manning. Yeah, his kids won Super Bowls,
Right.
and that's great. But LaVar got to at least be at the table. You know what I'm saying?
He got to be
if they can at least have 10-year careers, LaVar's got to be at that table with Joe Jackson and Archie Manning. That's a hell of a table. Joe Jackson, Archie Manning.
He's at the kids' table right now. Right now, he's at the kids' table. He's sitting off to the side with everybody.
He can hear what they talking about.
Yeah.
He's sitting off to the side with and it's hard to try to think somebody with some like the Matthews dad who had all the Matthews white boys in line.
Clay.
Well, yeah, it was
Clay Matthews and all
brothers
them, all them in
uncles,
line.
yeah.
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 He's at the table with the Bosa dad,
Okay.
Yeah.
Joy and Nick.
Yeah.
They on their way.
They on their way.
Yeah.
It's, you know, once they can eat, you know, a big plate, then they can
Then
get
they
to
can
the
move
big
to the
table.
right, right.
Okay, I got you.
But when you were saying about the pressure, he brought on the pressure to those boys.
he did.
Especially, I always get him confused.
Lonzo.
Mm-hmm. The pressure he put on that kid, you know, saying he's better than this person, and
I think that hurt their relationship.
yeah. But Dad, you don't have to play these dudes.
Right.
You know, they giving it to me out here
Every day.
every day.
Yeah.
And it started, remember, in that college game when Fox gave it to that boy.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He was like, "This is what you about to get."
Because
82 times
Because of your daddy.
because of your daddy.
Yeah.
So it's good now that he's more in the background because I haven't really heard nothing after the ESPN incident.
Yeah.
I haven't heard nothing from him. And if I was Jordan, as soon as I see him say, "Dude, bring your shoes,"
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna put this on ESPN.
Let's go.
I'm gonna bust your ass on ESPN so the world can see.
He has to.
He's
got to.
I mean, we after seeing the documentary on Jordan, we know how he's wired.
Exactly.
He took it
And
personally.
you
took it
know
personal.
Jordan don't forget nothing.
I took it personal.
Mike in the gym now.
Oh yeah.
I took it personal.
He was in the gym when they was even considering drafting him.
First day your daddy shows up here to watch you practice.
I got tricked like
Lace him up.
Like my mom used to say, I got a trick for your ass.
Lace him up,
Here's a
LaVar.
fresh pair of 13s.
Let's go, LaVar.
11s.
Talk all that shit.
I'll even give you some shoes to
Right.
play in.
LaVar, I'm gonna spot you 3. I'm gonna spot you 5. We going to 11. I'm gonna bust your ass.
No, matter of fact, I'll tell them, no, you put on some of them BBBs. So and you come play me in them other. Whatever they call
Man. Man,
But I do got to give him some credit, though. Like I
Yeah.
said, for him to be able to talk the shit that he talked and still be able to get 2 of the 3 drafted in the top 5, it's a hell of an accomplishment, bro.
I mean, he
It
got
is.
3 basically in the league, so I'll give him some kind of credit. But he ain't at the table with Archie Manning and Joe Jackson.
Not
He
yet.
ain't there yet. And Beyonce daddy, whatever his name.
Forgot about Matthew.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get some
yeah.
credit, too.
Knowles, yeah.
My man quit his job to finance Destiny's Child, and it paid off.
You know,
Two of the original 4 still out here making music.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, some of them are, but Beyonce and Kelly.
They're still making bread.
But it
And
was-
what's an old girl? What's the old girl? She on Love and Hip Hop too. She still get a check coming.
I started watching Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Like 5 years.
I'm just
Which
saying.
one?
I forget her name now.
Lucky Latoya. No.
Latoya, yeah.
Okay.
She still they still cutting her a check every week.
The last season Cardi B was on Love and Hip Hop. I think I stopped watching.
Oh, okay.
That dude had people didn't realize his plan when he named the group. The name wasn't Destiny's Children. The name of the group was Destiny's Child.
And mine is gonna last longer than all y'all.
Right. And as soon as I get here, you know, you other chicks, And the last album was called Destiny Fulfilled.
That means y'all go sit
If you
down.
don't
now.
know,
Y'all go sit down now. It's Beyonce's time.
Yeah, LaVar ain't on that level yet. He ain't there yet.
no,
I
no,
feel you.
no.
He at the table at least.
If
And they got to do something.
yeah, if them boys do something, then
I think the younger one gonna be pretty good.
yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Penny just a little bit. So I think he's gonna be all right.
And I think they just signed Gordon Hayward too.
4 years, 120 million.
Charlotte?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh wow.
they making moves.
Okay.
It's a lot of money to give that dude though.
I mean, he's coming. He played pretty good off a leg injury coming back.
Yeah, that's a
'Cause
lot
I
of
thought
bread though.
I thought he was coming to my Pacers.
He's
I
30.
I was like Depot and Hayward
Is he 30 million a year though?
before he got hurt. Before he hurt his leg.
Before he got hurt, yeah.
Well, you know how it is with the NBA now. These cats just getting paper.
Man,
They got-
for 3 years, 86 million.
Money-
For who?
Money to burn.
Yeah.
Montrezl
burn.
Harrell got what?
Crazy. What else we got, dog?
Slow day in college football today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot
Had a lot
of-
of cancellations.
Yeah, a lot of cancellations, postpones.
Yeah.
We did have some big game, well, quote unquote big games. The Ohio State Indiana game went down to the wire. Indiana, and it's funny since the first show when I really haven't watched Indiana, and you all was telling me that. So I've been watching them the last couple of weeks and impressed about the team again. I was impressed with what they did today. I didn't think they was going to beat Ohio State, but
They hung in there.
They hung in there.
They did. They made it respectable, which it was more than what I was anticipating. And, I knew Penix had been doing well all season. He had a great game against Michigan, another great one against Michigan State. That kid played his ass off today.
Yeah.
Because I think they ended up, I know at one point in the fourth quarter, they had -5 yards rushing. Like he was their entire offense today. And that jet, he came, I mean, he grew up today, in my opinion.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? To be able to do that against, I know Ohio State's defense is not what it was last year, but still, this is probably the biggest stage that he's been on, you know what I'm saying, so far. Being it's a top 10 matchup. And for him to throw for almost 500 yards against Ohio State, he can quit right now and
Right.
come home and be a star.
He'd be a star.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He'll be the man. He come home if he never plays another down. So I think the fact that he made it respectable is just big for the program because like we were talking about, is this going to be a flash in the pan or can they sustain and build on what they have? And as long as they have games like this, recruiting should be easy.
Right.
They got to finish though. They can't. They can't falter after this game. They got to bounce back next week.
Right.
Right.
So if they start losing, they lose next week, and then they lose a couple weeks down the road, then
Is they in trouble? A little bit.
it's what Indiana typically does. Every 4 or 5 years, they have a good year, and then they fade away for a couple of years, and then come back and have a couple good years. So
Yeah, that's the number one thing. That's a great point. They got to. I'm not sure who's on their schedule next week, but they got to come out and play solid. Like they can't have another, barn burner.
No, if
They
they can
gotta
do
come.
well enough to get them at least to finish the season out and get them to a New Year's Six, one of the 6 bowls on New Year's Day, I think they'll be a team to watch at least the next 3 or 4 years.
he is only a redshirt sophomore. So
Yeah,
you keep a team around him, and you got your quarterback, you good to go.
I mean the head coach has roots in coaching down here, so I mean that's the reason why he was able to come down here and get Penix and get a couple other cats from Florida because he had he did some high school coaching down here, so I think if he can continue to get athletes around Penix and then and maybe in a year get another quarterback to develop behind him, they got a chance to do something because Michigan's obviously on the slide. Michigan State ain't nowhere near what they used to be. Once can Ohio State continue to reload like they've been doing the last 10 years or so? They're obviously going to be in the running every year. Penn State's fallen all the way off. Now they got off the field problems that they have and with stuff that happened previous years and the guys I guess they got into a fight and Franklin told the kid don't talk to the police about the fight. So they got all kind of issues going on. They in disarray a little bit in Penn State. So it's they have an opportunity to jump in at least be the little brother to Ohio State and to knock Michigan and Penn State and those folks out of the way. So they got a chance. They got an opportunity. It just matters if they can capitalize on it, like
It's
you
just a
said.
weird year in college all the way around.
Yeah. Well, it's I hate to say it, but this might be one of those asterisk years. Like, yeah, you won, but
If they could even finish
if
it.
they can finish,
Yeah, but that's another thing. They might not even finish the season.
right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're gonna have teams that's gonna play 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Utah; they just opened it up
Yeah.
today.
Crazy.
So,
What else we got on tap?
NFL, kind of interesting weekend coming up in NFL football. Started out Thursday night, pretty decent game between Seattle and Cardinals.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Seattle eked it out. I think Kyler Murray got a little lesson of, winning big time football in the league because honestly, Russell Wilson didn't play all that well.
He been falling off a little bit. I was
Yeah.
ready to hand him the MVP 3 weeks ago, and he's fell off a little bit. I know he had obviously he had a better game this past week, but I was a little shocked that Russell fell off a little bit the last few weeks. But because right now it's looking like he's all that they got.
Right.
Defensively, they can't stop a nosebleed.
I mean, they stopped them when it mattered. Carlos Dunlap got that sack.
Yeah.
Got that sack to close the game, basically.
We gonna talk about the elephant in the room though. About the NFL though.
What's that?
But what the Saints did to hey Tampa Bay, the Bucks know how to
That
shine.
was old news. Tampa Bay won last week, man. Why we want to talk about that?
I mean, because we want to talk about the obvious, how they were ready to crown Tom Brady and the Bucks a few weeks ago, and the Saints made them look like junkyard dogs. I mean, it's worth talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because Saints basically gave you the formula to beat Tom Brady, which everybody already pretty much knew that anyway.
That was on coaching, man. Most of that game was on coaching. How do you run the ball 4 fucking times? 5 times.
Was
and
it
one
on
of them
was it on coaching
it's
or was it on
coaching.
protection?
It's on
Because Tom Brady, somebody was in his face every other play.
But still, I don't. That's the thing that kills me. Like, I don't understand. As a former defensive lineman who was a backup offensive lineman myself, you understand where the game is won. You cannot a 43-year-old, 44-year-old Tom Brady, you cannot let him throw the ball 50 some damn times a game. I don't care if you getting 2 yards a carry, 3 yards a carry. You got to attempt to run the ball somehow. They didn't attempt, and you only run the ball 4 times, and one of them is a kneel down.
And New Orleans just pin their ears back
That's
the whole
it.
day.
Donovan Smith is already a turnstile. Cam Jordan has a seat in that man's house. Cam Jordan comes to Tampa every year. He goes to Donovan Smith's house.
Smacks his wife
He
on the
opens his
butt.
door. He walks in and just goes straight to his refrigerator. He tells that mother, he says, "Shut your ass up."
Kiss his wife.
Kiss his wife. He smacks on the ass.
Fix me some eggs.
Yeah, fix me some eggs, bitch.
With grits.
With grits and cheese. He does that every year. Like, I go back to it. When they re-signed Donovan Smith, Cam Jordan was on Twitter like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We finna eat good for 5 more years in
I'm
Tampa.
gonna reach my incentives.
Right, I'm gonna reach my incentives. I got some trim waiting on me for me when I get to Tampa.
But that's the thing, though, is that I think finally Tom was able to get a taste of what Jameis got all year long. He ran for his life all season long. Tom is not going. Obviously, he can't run like Jameis can. He don't have this capability that Jameis had. And if you put somebody in Tom's face, you see exactly what happens when that happens. When the Saints print somebody in his face every single play, Tom getting nervous. He start dancing and throwing that thing away, throwing picks, throwing it out of bounds.
I stopped watching that shit at halftime because it was 31-0, and I'm just glad they bounced back that following week and beat the shit out of who they played?
Carolina. Well, the thing is with them, can you beat a good team?
Good question.
Because at the time when they lost to Chicago, they had a decent record.
Right.
They lost to Saints twice.
Yep.
Look, besides the Packer game,
Who have they really beat?
who have they beat? So Monday night will be a decent test. I mean, the Rams, I think, a little bit overrated, but
Yeah,
they are
it's
a decent team.
They are. It's hard for me to call them a good team
Yeah.
just yet. Just because they still have, in my opinion, Goff hasn't answered all the questions
Right.
yet.
I don't think he ever will.
It don't seem like it. It don't seem like it. So it's hard for me to call the Rams a good team. It'll be a good test for them
Right.
because Rams the defense is top notch. They obviously got the best player in football with Aaron Donald. They arguably got the best corner in football. So it'll be a good test for them because Jalen Ramsey's gonna shut down probably half of the field or at least shut down Mike Evans for the most part. So can AB, Scotty Miller, Gronk,
Scotty Miller's
and the rest
done.
of them, can they have some balance? Can they run the ball, or will they run the ball? Ronald Jones obviously showed that he's capable if they give him the ball. Can they have enough balance to be able to beat the Rams? We'll see.
I'll tell you, those 2 in 1 hole blast up the middle ain't gonna happen Monday night.
No.
99.
99 is going to he's if he don't eat up 3 linemen, he's going to eat up 2 every play. At least.
So
He remind me of you, B, back in your
Hey, man.
back in your days when you were 16,
Man,
17.
look, man. No, one game we played Bloomingdale, dog. I don't know why my coach got the smart idea to move me to nose tackle and keep me out of the 3 technique, which was over the guard. I woke up that next morning, man. They came down to double team me. I couldn't even extend my arm down. That shit was so swollen the whole damn game.
Sweet man, that's why you needed that Aaron Donald workout routine, bro.
They ran like a wing tee, didn't they? Like Bloomingdale.
Nah, was it a wing tee? I don't think it was a wing tee.
Chamberlain used to run that.
It was,
team.
but they ran a lot of traps.
Trap, yeah.
So they was always trapping. Like they ran it in the spring, and I was shutting that shit down in the spring. I don't know why my coach decided first game of the season we're gonna come back play Bloomingdale. We're gonna move you to the 3.
Overcoaching. You know, we all do it.
Oh yeah,
I've done it, coaching.
many times.
I'm shooting off, hitting. I'm taking on the guard in the
Got a
center.
bright idea.
I'm taking on the
Think
guard.
about this all night.
All right. I'm gonna move him to the nose tackle. He can blow. Like, dude, I was blowing this shit up in the spring. Now you gonna move me to the nose tackle. In the game, I'm seeing the dude that's playing the 3. He just.
I got this, Robinson.
just
You
see
don't
him.
ask no questions. I got this.
See him.
I've been thinking about this since yesterday.
He puts me back in the 3 technique. Like in mid third quarter, they kept trying to run that trap shit. I kept blowing up every time. I'm like, why we weren't doing this shit the whole anyway? But Aaron, I'm no Aaron Donald. But Aaron Donald, man, like that workout, that you've seen his home gym.
He's just a different dude, man. Like
He was
it's, he
Incredible
just
Hulk.
yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I can't think of anybody that wasn't on steroids that looked like that dude. You know what I'm saying? That's played defensive
Man, we was
line.
watching Hard Knocks, and this nigga took his shirt off, and my wife was in the room watching it. She was like, "Oh," I was like, "Hold on, now, pump your brakes.
I'd have turned it off.
What are you doing here?"
First of all, you don't ooh nobody.
ooh
when I'm
nobody.
sitting there.
I know
This
he's
dude
a
don't
good-
have no fat on him.
Look,
man.
none at all.
I don't care what he look like. You better hold them oohs down. Over
Who
here.
is that? You want to get busted in the mouth?
Who is that equals damn he's fine. She might well just said that. Anyway.
I hate to bring up old painful memories, but that's how good that Florida State line was in 13. We ain't hear his name
Oh
called.
man.
They didn't call his name at all that night.
No.
Willie Jackson, Stork, Josue Matias,
Man,
destroyed that dude, man.
Cam Irvin.
Cam Irvin.
I hate to reminisce either because it just just hurts me
Oh
even
yeah,
more to know what we are today.
I don't even want to talk about it no
But
more.
man, that day, that game Jameis had against them, man, when you tell me, I was brought back to life with that game. I was like, man, we are back.
Because we had been floundering for a couple of years.
Yes.
Jimbo's first 2 seasons was with Christian Ponder and EJ
EJ.
Manning. Was
But
kind
man,
of
when Jameis stepped out there and what he went 25 for 27,
Something like
I was
that.
like, man, we are back.
3 or 4 touches.
I think he had 4.
4 touchdowns.
Like,
That
man, we
whole
are
game.
back.
That whole game, I was like, geez, okay. This what we
Let's
doing?
stop talking about. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
depressed.
so, yeah,
I'm gonna get
yeah.
depressed.
Speaking of Jameis, though,
Speaking of Jameis, the Saints are going with Taysom Hill starting tomorrow.
y'all know how I feel about this. Before we even get into the discussion, let me tell y'all something, man. I think it's 2 parts. I think one part is they don't want to throw Jameis out there, and then they have to make a decision mid-season to say it's over for you,
Right.
Drew. Like Drew's, the man's 41 years old with a collapsed lung and broken ribs.
several broken ribs.
So I think this is just a way to preserve his last hurrah in a sense. We'll throw Taysom Hill out there. Nobody expects Taysom Hill to steal his job or even make it controversial.
Right.
So we'll throw Taysom Hill out there until Drew's able to come back. We'll ride Drew for the rest of this year. And then in the offseason, we'll have a conversation with Drew about, hey, man, do you really want to continue to steal money or –
No, the conversation is what time you want this press conference. Do you want it in the morning or do you want it in the afternoon?
Right.
Because you're having a press conference.
Because it's over.
Right.
So I think that's a big part of why they're not putting Jameis out there, because there's no way for you to justify to me, or there's no way you can tell me we think Taysom gives us a better chance to beat anybody than Jameis does.
So is it because they're playing Atlanta? Or would you because they really can't afford to lose if Tampa Bay's right there on them.
No, they can't.
So you will forsake losing this game for Drew Brees?
And it's a division game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone counts.
And Atlanta's been playing pretty good.
Pretty good. So it's not like a gimme.
Right. I just don't know, man. I don't why. Maybe it's subterfuge. Maybe he's saying Taysom Hill's gonna start. Taysom Hill get in there, run his couple of trick plays, and then James comes in and takes over and plays.
That could be gamesmanship.
Plays the majority of the game. That could be happening too. But I just don't know when this man wasn't drafted highly. Was he undrafted? Right.
He was undrafted.
He was undrafted.
Yeah.
Came in as a specialist and wildcat quarterback and could throw the ball and do all that other stuff. So if he was that good of a backup quarterback, why isn't he a full-time backup quarterback?
I watched they dug up some of his lowlights from BYU. You'll see why he went undrafted.
He was trash.
He was horrible.
He's one of them high recruited dudes that they thought that was going to be so good.
Is dude a football player? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a dynamic football player. He can do a lot. Is he a quarterback though? Like, they're already paying him too much money as it is to be a gimmick type dude. You know what I'm saying? He's not even you can't even compare him to, you remember when Cordell Stewart came in, he was slashed those first few years. I can't even compare him to that because of the fact that they just wanted to get Cordell on the field.
Right.
Cordell obviously was a quarterback. He came and improved that. But Taysom Hill, like, they were talking about him on Get Up. The dude is on fantasy football. He's listed as a tight end.
Yeah. Where do you do with him? Because the good point you made with Cordell Stewart, if he'd have put his mind to it, could have been a top NFL receiver.
If he wanted to. Yeah, if he really wanted to.
Taysom Hill is a fullback, tight end, H-back type dude.
He'd probably be a good one if he was there full time. But to me, to throw him out there in whatever package they have, because, the playbook's obviously going to have to be limited. The dude can only do so much. Do you really want to roll the dice, like you said, on a division game against a team that's playing halfway decent? Do you really want to roll the dice when Tampa Bay is knocking on the door, even though the Saints own the tiebreaker? You know what I'm saying? Because they beat them twice.
Right.
Why take the risk?
But you can't afford to lose games.
You can't afford to lose games.
No.
Not when the division's that tight.
No. There's no point in
So
taking
I don't
the
know,
risk.
man. I don't know. Me personally, I think Jameis is gonna play more than what is being led us to believe.
Especially if he comes in and, like you said, if they become one-dimensional. If I was Raheem Morris, corners, we in man zero coverage.
All day long.
The strong safety is in the box.
Because it's not like Deuce McAllister is back there running it up.
No.
No.
I mean, Kamara is a hell of an athlete.
Kamara's a great player. He is. I think
he got to get to the edge.
Yeah, I think he gets a lot of credit for the things that he's done. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I mean, you do when Michael Thomas is on the outside. That's arguably the best receiver in the game. Mm-hmm. You got a quarterback, when he's healthy, can put the ball just about anywhere. So yeah, Kamara looking real good when you got Mike Thomas out there and all the attention's going to him, and you can slip out and be one-on-one with a linebacker. I mean, let's keep it real. Alvin Kamara could barely get on the field at Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So.
Not barely, he didn't. That's why he left.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
but then, so then that thanks to this, like, which goes to show you that draft, the Bucs could have had Dalvin Cook, could have had Alvin Kamara, and they took a running back in the 5th fucking round.
The next year they could have had Derwin James.
Could have had.
I'm gonna give him a pass on Alvin
Man,
Kamara
no.
because nobody ever knew Alvin was.
We'll
gonna
give him a
do
pass
it.
on Alvin
I'll
Kamara.
give him a pass.
They could have had
But D
Dalvin Cook.
No, they definitely pissed that off.
But where they could have had Kamara in the fourth round?
That's true.
Third, fourth round.
But he wouldn't. I don't think they would have used him like.
No, they wouldn't have. Not the way the
Kamara
Saints
might have
are.
been out the league by now.
But
They have no offensive line.
But imagine if Dalvin Cook was back there. Especially even last year with Jameis throwing for 5,000 yards. Imagine the lanes that would have been opened up for Dalvin Cook last year. Jameis wouldn't have had to throw for 5,000 yards.
Imagine if the defense played like they played this year.
If they had with Derwin
Or
James,
if
they probably could
ran the
have.
ball, if they ran the ball like they run the ball this year.
I don't want to take nothing from Vita Vea. Obviously, the dude's pretty decent, but he's injury prone. But imagine if they, instead of showing up the defensive line, which we really didn't need them to do, the back end of the defense has been horrible since Dexter Jackson left. You know what I'm saying? In early 2000, I did bring up Dexter Jackson. That's
Yeah.
probably the last good safety we've had. But think about it. Think about if we had Derwin James on the back end of that defense.
So you want Chris Conte one shit?
Come on, man. Did you really say that out loud?
Ask what's your boy McDonald from Pittsburgh?
Come on, man.
But on the flip
That
side,
was Chris Conte when he
Yeah.
when he stiffed armed his ass into the sideline. Oh,
on
my
the flip
God.
side, Derwin hadn't been healthy.
He hasn't, but I mean, who knows? Who
what
knows
would-
if he would have?
yeah.
He may not have. Who knows if he didn't get hurt if he played here? I mean, the dude is literally from a county over.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you not bring him home?
He was ready to.
Yeah, how do you not bring him home?
bring him home.
Come on, man.
The last point
We can't sell tickets as it is.
on the Jameis comparison, what he used with Tampa last year versus Tom Brady this year, and I can't remember where I read it or heard it from. The difference is the offense. Bruce Arians is a guy that likes to go downfield, and Jameis was told to go downfield. So anytime you do that a bunch of times, see now
You ask him
Tom
for it.
Brady is dinking and dunking.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different offense that they're running.
Right.
They keep claiming that they're running the Bruce Arians offense. That's not
I
Bruce
don't believe
Arians
it.
offense.
I don't
They
believe
brought
it, no.
Tom Brady. They bought that offense that he ran in New England down here, and that's why he's dinking and dunking. And then every now and then he might take a shot. Oh, but it's only like 30 because he don't have the arm strength.
And if you look back at it, you look at other quarterbacks that Bruce Arians has coached over the years. Their first year in his offense, they turned the ball over a lot. Carson Palmer's first year in Arizona under Bruce Arians turned that thing over. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Threw for about 4,000 yards, but still turned that thing over. When he was in, I forget where he was before that, but the same scenario. Jameis. In Jameis's defense, even Chris Godwin came to his defense and said half the interception that Jameis threw last year was not all his fault. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if he had another opportunity, they'd
Right.
still be playing his offense, going down the field instead of dinking and dunking all day long, giving Scotty Miller Pro Bowl type numbers.
I seen some article last year where a dude broke it down, and it was based on what he saw on the film, what Bruce Arians said as far as who was responsible for those interceptions. And I think he said Jameis should have had about anywhere from 17 to about 19 interceptions. But still, I mean, it is what it is. It's the league, man.
But think about the difference of what that would have been.
Oh no,
Jameis throws for
that's
33 touchdowns,
that's-
5,000 yards, and 17 interceptions.
that's 3 games. That's 3 games. They're in the playoffs.
And that's arguably one of the greatest seasons of a quarterback has ever had.
Right.
Arguably.
I just, for me, it always comes down to, of course, Tom Brady's reaping the benefits of the defense being in a second year of your boys'
Todd
defense,
Bowles.
Todd Bowles' defense, offensive line playing together for about 3-4 years of the same starters.
Every weapon imaginable.
Every weapon imaginable. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard before he got hurt. And then you bring in Gronk. Then you bring in all these, like, Ronald Jones is starting to
Brate still holding his own.
come into his own. Brate is the most consistent tight end on the team.
That's why I
just
understand
doesn't-
why they gave
Just don't even give him.
Gronk that $9 million. You already had
Didn't need to give it.
two
Crazy.
solid tight ends.
But so, and Jameis is in the first year of Bruce Arians' offense. Like you said, I would have loved to see him get another
At least.
deal. I think Jameis priced himself out of Tampa for one. I think had he said, well, $20 million instead of the 30, 35, I think they would have brought him back.
I agree with you, but it's hard for you. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for him not to at least command at least the top 10 quarterbacks
He
are
can't.
commanding.
He can't mess up the market that way.
Right.
But he can't. He can't ask for less because the market for starting quarterbacks now is 30 plus.
Exactly.
That's
If he
the same
asks- if-
situation
if
they
he-
said about Dak. I don't see how Dak. Well, Dak's supposed to ask for that.
Yeah, if he accepts less when you led the league in touchdowns and passing yards, you accept less, then you shooting everybody else in the
Right.
foot. You know what I'm saying? Every other quarterback, you shooting them in the foot, you take less. So
I just think it's I don't know, like I did with Jimbo when he wouldn't run the ball. Same way with Bruce Arians when they wouldn't run the ball. I want to throw the shit all over the field, and not even give Ronald Jones the touches to develop and become a better runner. Because if had Ronald Jones got the touches that he's getting this year, if he got them last year, they'd been a whole lot better place last year.
yeah, we having a different conversation.
different conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. First show we had tweeted out if any listeners had questions, and we do got some questions that we want to throw at each other. And
Okay.
first question, and I don't have because I want to give a shout out to the person who sent it.
Which one you doing? James, Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Shout out to my boy Zach. He's in my online Madden league. He asked his question after listening to the podcast and us talking about
So Zach was a little perturbed because I said that Josh Allen was trash.
I don't think he was perturbed. He was like he just wants to know your honest because he knows we're Florida State fans.
Right.
So he wants to know the honest opinion. So how Josh Allen has been playing, how Jameis Winston's played or been playing.
Right.
Who would you take right now to start your franchise?
Okay.
And he wants you to put your FSU bias apart.
Okay.
And who you got? You got Josh Allen or you got Jameis Winston?
Okay. So, excuse me. I looked at this two different ways. All right. To hopefully try to satisfy, his curiosity as far as my thinking was. So I thought about it like this. Okay.
He's an Ohio State fan, by the way.
Oh, okay. No
Okay.
problem. So I thought of it like this. Let's say if I looked at them both coming out of college, I thought of it that way, and I thought, okay, then we'll talk about it if I take them right now, who they are right now at this moment. Coming out of college is it's really no conversation.
No.
Jameis was obviously the more, talented quarterback. He did more in 1 year than Josh Allen did in 2 years
He won a Heisman and a national title.
as a freshman.
And Josh Allen
Right.
played for the fighting Wyoming Cowboys.
Right. And I think I looked up, for the 2 years that he was a starter at Wyoming, he did not complete more than 60% of his passes. I think he was in the mid-50s for both those years. Okay, so if I'm looking at them both out of college, it's not even the conversation. I don't even know if Josh Allen gets drafted. If I'm a GM and he's coming out of Wyoming, I don't care how hard he can throw the ball. I don't care how far he can throw the ball. You couldn't even complete 60% of your passes at Wyoming.
Right.
So we're not even talking about that. Okay, so if we talk about looking at them both right now, let's say I'm going to give Josh Allen some credit. He is leading the league. I looked it up. He is leading the league in passing yards this year. Okay, that's great. Jameis threw for 5,000 yards last year, and no one cared. All right. So, excuse me. I know Josh Allen's completion percentage is a little bit better this year. He's completing 60-some-odd% of his passes. That's great. I'm still taking Jameis over him if I'm taking them both right now to build a team because Jameis, in my opinion, is way more battle-tested. Jameis has had how many different coordinators throughout his career, how many different head coaches throughout his career. Josh Allen's had this cush situation in Buffalo. Let me finish now. He's had this cush situation in Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Cush, when I'm talking about from a coaching standpoint, the coaches have been able to sit with this kid, figure out what he can and cannot do. I feel like they're cutting the field in half for him, saying, I have a hard time believing that they're saying, okay, Josh, we need you to drop back, go through 4 reads, and then make your decision. I have a hard time believing that he's doing that. I believe that they're shortening the field for him. We're going to give you half. You got 1-2 read, make a decision or run. And he's not even doing that well. So I'm still not ready to take him over Jameis based on what he's done so far in the league because I feel like Jameis is more battle-tested. Yeah, he don't throw as hard or as far as Josh Allen does, but what does that mean? That don't mean anything to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still taking Jameis regardless of my Florida State bias. I'm still going to take Jameis over him because I just think he's the more talented quarterback than Josh Allen is.
Yeah, your Florida State bias was shining through.
big time.
Big time.
Man, you
but
can't-
I understand.
It's hard when you think
I
about
understand.
competition. You
it's
can't.
hard. It's hard to
And
shed
the
it.
reason why I'll right now NFL, like you said, I agree with you 100% on coming out of college is not even a question.
Nothing to talk about.
But you look at you mentioned that Buffalo was a cush situation. Buffalo ain't been a cush situation since Jim Kelly was there.
It's not. I meant from a coaching standpoint. That's where
But
I'm
still,
at.
you got an inexperienced coach in McDermott.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been there for how long now?
Okay, so
Well, I'll say this. Not Cush. He has a more stable situation in Buffalo.
because
Stable.
the expectations because Josh Allen wasn't the first quarterback taken in that draft.
Right.
He was the
I
third.
don't know if that it
Something
was,
like that.
it
Second,
was
third.
the weakest.
He was still
quarterback
took two.
draft,
He was still
though.
taken too early.
He fell. Oh, he was taking like a 9, 10, 11. He think he
It was a weak quarterback draft. though,
Yeah.
that year.
So
For him to go in the top 10,
So
absurd.
He didn't fall into a cush situation. Now he fell into a team. He fell into a coach that understood my bread and butter is we're gonna run the ball.
We're gonna play
with
defense.
Singletary, and we're gonna play defense because they had some young stars in Buffalo that was coming up. So he didn't have to come in and right away lead a team in passing yards and touchdowns and be the leader and be this. He could come in, learn NFL, get his feet wet, and then begin to shine, which is what happened. He came the second year, first year he was okay. He looked like a rookie. Second year he came in and led him to the playoffs. And then this year he's really playing good football. So for me, if I had a starter right now, I'm gonna have to go with Josh Allen. That's just my opinion. I love Jameis.
Right.
Like if I had an ideal situation where I can bring Jameis in and he can play, he doesn't have to win the game by himself. He can just play he can play, manage the game like Ben Roethlisberger did his first year and take him to the Super Bowl. He's got a great running game and a great defense because Jameis ain't have none of that.
none.
The first year he had a good running game. That was it.
That was it.
Defense has been shitty until this year.
They haven't had a running game since.
Haven't had a running game since. So Jameis wasn't afforded some of the same opportunity that Josh Allen was, and that's organizational and coaching. So it's different. So of course I'm gonna take Josh Allen because he's in a more stable situation. Like you said, it's a stable
Right. situation.
situation. McDermott's been there 4 years now, and he's established his identity as far as what this team is gonna do.
Right.
Jameis went through three head coaches, 2 coordinators, and you trying to and learn all this on the fly with a sorry ass offensive line.
No running game.
No running game.
Defense has been
Defense
horrible.
is giving up. They're putting up 30, 40 points, but the defense is giving up 30, 40 points.
And see, that's the reason why I take Jameis, because even with all that, Jameis took himself to the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Pro Bowl ain't shit no more.
It's not, but it's still, you know what I'm saying, to be able to say that you took yourself to the Pro Bowl with what we just described, it's pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say just talent. If we just talk about pure talent, I think Jameis can throw every ball on the route tree. I don't believe that Josh Allen can. I don't think Josh Allen can. I just don't have that kind of faith in him.
I believe, and just putting on the coach's hat, totally 100% agree with both of you. Coming out of college, James is the one. You made a good point. Josh Allen, it's the team dynamic that he's in right now. They are cutting off the field for him.
Have to be.
They are from the guy. I don't see them. I don't watch them that much. For the times I watched them,
Right.
especially in like that playoff game they had against Houston last year that went down to the wire. He's asked to go intermediate. We ain't really going downfield too much. That's why Stephon Diggs came over there, stepped in. He's having the numbers he's having. He's catching a lot of balls. If you notice, they're all intermediate routes.
Yeah.
Jameis was in an offense that they told him to go downfield. We want the ball pushed 20 to 30 yards downfield. Overall talent, Jameis got it. But if we're talking about starting today, I have to go with Josh Allen too. But then too, it depends on what my coaching philosophy is. It's got to be if we're gonna be a strong defensive, run the ball, time possession team. Yeah, I got to go with Allen.
Right.
If we're gonna go downfield, we're gonna sling it around. I got to go with Jameis, but damn it, he got to
He got to clean it up.
he got to clean it
gotta
up.
But no, I don't think nobody can convince me that they'll be comfortable with Josh Allen dropping back 35, 40 times a game, sitting in the pocket and picking teams
No.
apart. No one can convince me that they'll be comfortable with him doing that.
I mean, if you got the time and the that's why they say any quarterback in the NFL, give them time, they'll pick you apart.
I don't know about any now.
It's that guy. Who do you want? You down by 3. You got to get in field goal range, and you starting the ball at your own 20. Who you want in the game?
That should be a no-brainer. It's
You know what I'm
Jameis.
saying?
To me, I think I would compare Josh Allen to Tannehill. We talked about him a little bit, to where
I think
okay,
a little better.
He's better than Tannehill.
he's a little better than Tannehill, but at the same time, I think the role is pretty
But I
similar.
see what you're saying. I can see the
Don't
comparison.
screw it up,
Right.
because when you screw it up, we're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? He has a little bit more responsibility than Tannehill has because he don't have Derrick Henry behind him.
Right.
But
And
I
he's
think
pretty athletic too.
he is. But I think that it's along those same lines to where, look, man, just don't screw it up. Okay, we're not putting all the onus on you to win the game for us. Obviously, when Jameis, especially prior to last year and years prior to that, Jameis had to win the game for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they will put that kind
Every
of
week.
They're not putting that kind of responsibility on Josh Allen. I don't want to keep beating this dead horse to death.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Plus, he don't really have much of a running game in Buffalo because who is their running back?
Singletary out of FAU.
That's right.
He was real good last year.
They had old man Frank Gore last year. Too.
Yeah, I think they're running back by committee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have a one horse, you know what I'm saying, like a Derrick Henry or nothing like that. So
All right. The second question comes from @CommonSense512, and his question is, he actually had 2 questions that we're going to use tonight. The first one is, do the Pats keep Cam next year? And if not, where does Cam go?
They don't keep Cam.
No.
So do they go quarterback in the draft, first
Yes.
pick? Do they have to?
Yes,
They're-
they're not going to give it to Stidham.
Obviously
gonna
not.
send him
Yeah.
fir-
Unless they get a free agent.
But then their first pick is not high enough though. Their first pick won't be high enough. 'Cause
No,
they'll-
but I think they got enough. They got enough to, if they wanted to be able to trade up, they probably
Yeah,
could.
they have a warehouse full of draft picks.
Right. And I think that was the plan, getting Tom out of there. Let's got to get as many draft picks as we can, so that way we can get the heir apparent. If we got to trade up to get them, they got
And
the.
from what I heard, they're willing to trade Stephon Gilmore.
Why not?
You know what
I
I'm
mean
saying?
that's the Patriot MO though. They
Yeah.
before I'm gonna trade you before I
gotta pay you.
I gotta pay you.
Yeah,
So if you add in Gilmore and some picks to move up,
absolutely.
who wouldn't take it?
No, I don't think they keep Cam just because obviously it's not working out the way they had planned.
Cam is not the player.
No, but I feel like I can't the coordinator, the offensive coordinator for
Josh McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels. I feel like he's not. I don't think he's utilizing Cam the way he should.
No.
Cam has never been that quarterback that's going to sit back and pick nobody apart. Of it. He's not Drew Brees. He doesn't have the accuracy that they have. I think Cam sometimes he don't realize how strong his arm is, and he don't know how to take some off of it to put some touch on the ball sometimes. So I think that's where Cam kind of gets in trouble. I think they just, like I said, they just can't. They're not using him the way that I thought that Josh McDaniel would have been like, yeah, okay, I got somebody that can run now. I'm gonna do something. I'm really gonna pull some plays out my ass. And we haven't seen that. So no, I don't think he goes back to New England. But where does he go?
That's
Who's in the market for
wherever
Cam
he
Newton?
goes, Cam Newton will be wearing a visor and a
He would be a
clipboard.
backup quarterback. His starting days are done.
Yeah.
That's so sad, bro.
It is.
It's just sad,
But
man.
he's not the same. I think that shoulder is really
The shoulder's
is
really
bad.
shoulder jammed him up.
It's just rough. You know what I'm saying? To see it happen, I guess, because I think that they allowed Cam to take a beating more than any other quarterback in the league in the last 10 years.
Quarterback power was in their offense.
Yeah, and it's caught up to him, and it's just tough to see because even regardless of the antics and him whining after the Super Bowl and all that other stuff, Cam had one of the greatest college football seasons of
Ever.
all time, and he came into the league. shown flashes that, if he's in the right situation and had, the right folks around him, there's no reason why he couldn't have at least been, top 5, top 10 quarterback throughout his career. But I think Carolina ran him in the ground, and then threw him away when they were tired of him. And then now he's in a situation where he's in New England, not playing all that well, and probably still a little bit hurt. My man had COVID. We have no idea if that's affecting him, internally. So it's just sad to see. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad to see him kind of go out like this.
Yeah, it's definitely when I watched him in that Jets game, and the game they should have lost. Jets was just being the Jets.
Yeah.
But Cam looked awful. I mean,
But then he looked good last week against Lamar.
Yeah.
In Baltimore. So who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe Josh McDaniels can figure it out and get a right package in for him to be successful. I mean, they beat Baltimore.
Right.
True enough, it was in New England. It was, messy. It was,
that weather was
it was horrible. So they probably had a little bit of an advantage, being at home and, having control of the game. But I don't know, man. Like I said, it's sad to see. I hope Cam is able to land on his feet next year and play for somebody and be successful. But like you said, it's hard for me to see him starting somewhere.
Yeah, to see him as a backup, it's gonna be crazy. But
I think he'll hang it up before he's a backup.
I think he'll retire.
Yeah,
I thought that too. I thought his pride wouldn't let him become a backup.
Nah, man.
And he probably been playing football, since he was a little kid.
Easy.
And you don't want, accomplish what you've accomplished. Hang it up too.
Now, if he want to be smart and do like what Tebow should have did, and go out there and say, "Hey, man, I play tight end or outside linebacker for somebody." Bro, can you see Cam? First of all, Cam's already bigger than half the linebackers in the league.
Yeah.
You imagine Cam as a stand-up defensive end on the outside of somebody's defensive line? I'd be scared. He'd eat Donovan Smith's lunch.
I could eat Donovan Smith's lunch. And
the only thing I'm glad is that Cam, I don't know what the story was or whatever with the laptop in Florida, but I'm glad he got the hell away from there.
Yeah, man. Tebow would have been a fullback.
You know what I'm saying? But Tebow, all that talent they had, you imagine Cam being the quarterback.
Man.
They were already
like I said, Tebow would have been a fullback. Like I said.
Last question. Are the Rams actually good or just beating bad teams?
Beating bad teams because they didn't even beat Miami. And Miami's turned out to be pretty good, decent under Tua.
Well, next question. That was really pretty. They couldn't beat Miami. But no, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier.
They'll fuck around and beat the Bucs, though.
Yeah, and I was talking about how, I don't think that Goff has answered any, all the questions yet. Defensively, absolutely.
Yeah,
offensively,
they're balling defensively.
I don't know who they are offensively, to be honest.
No, because they don't run the ball well like they did in Gurley's healthy years. They got some talented receiver with
Robert
Woods and Cooper Kupp and
who's your tight end?
Reynolds and I don't think Tyler Higbee, excuse me, was but I know he had been in and out, so I don't know if he's even healthy.
They got a good
offense.
offense.
Got Gerald Everett. I
think so. I think he's still on.
They got a good offensive line.
The old man got hurt in the tackle.
Oh, is it
Whitworth.
Whitworth.
Yeah.
Dude, like
He's
70 years old.
37 years old, still starting in the NFL, collecting a check.
Holding it down, too.
Yeah.
Holding it down.
Old crafty veteran.
Man.
I thought about that the other day. You know how old that dude is, man. I remember watching him on Hard Knocks when he played for Cincinnati, and Chad Johnson was still there.
Right.
And he's still in the league, holding it down, getting a check. Yeah, man.
Now, you know that dude got respect with the refs. You know that dude be holding his
all day long. All day long.
You ain't see nothing. You ain't see nothing, ref. That flag wasn't on me. Pick that shit up.
Yeah. But to answer his question, we'll see after Monday just how good the Rams are. We'll see.
It depends on how they play against the Bucs. Because they play tight, close games, and they're all right. Yeah. But if they play shitty.
Well, that division,
it's Seattle's.
It's Seattle.
I don't know, man. Can you say that after Arizona?
Yeah.
It's up in the air. Seattle can't stop a nosebleed, like I said.
Well, Seattle beat Arizona twice, right?
They beat them twice.
And then, has Seattle played the Rams yet?
I'm not sure. San
San
Francisco is a wash. We forget about them.
But
it's arguably it could be the toughest, division in the league. You know what I'm saying? Between Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams, it could be one of the toughest in the league.
Yeah.
So I think it's still a toss-up of who can win it. I still give Arizona a chance.
San Francisco, we all been coaches before, and we had a tragedy of a team that we coached together. And in our defense, it was tragedy because we should have never been in that league and everything.
Right.
But you ever had the situation where you so bad with the 49ers in the two quarterbacks that they're running out? It's like you looking behind you like, oh my God, just stay in.
I've never even heard of them cats before.
Both of them are awful.
I know it's got to be painful for Schottenheimer.
That they just them injuries messed them up bad.
I said Schottenheimer, Shanahan. It's got to be painful for him to trot that out there like that.
I mean,
he can't do nothing about it.
Nothing about it.
Nothing you can do about it. You
Nothing
lose
can
your
save
quarterback. You lose two of your starting defensive linemen, your best linemen,
running backs, receivers.
It's a wash. It is a wash.
Yeah, man.
Ain't really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, but we'll see if the Rams are real after Monday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's on you, B. What we on?
What we on this week? Which one y'all want to start it off? What y'all vibing to? What y'all listening to?
We'll let the people know what we own is all about.
What
again,
we on is
just
all
a
about,
reminder.
basically, as a reminder. We're gonna give y'all some classic music, some classic albums to kind of check out. Pre-2005 is the stipulations we said before we started the podcast. So just give y'all some old music to check out. Some stuff that we kind of grew up on, we didn't grow up on, or maybe we went back and listened to it. Or maybe we were young and we went back and listened to it. Like, you know what, this was really a banging ass album or group or artist or whatever. So that's what we on is all about. So I think I started with you last week, Chuck. Slow, what you got this week?
Man, I'm gonna take you back to 1988.
Woo.
88. Right before my senior year.
I was 12.
Yeah. See, I'm the oldest of the OGs.
Yeah. I was 10.
88.
10 years
Some of
old.
y'all wasn't even born, but it's the summer going into my
You
senior
wasn't
year.
even thought of. You was still in your daddy's sack.
Sack. And the three albums was New Edition, Heartbreak,
Okay.
Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel,
Ooh.
Albie Shore, In Effect Mode.
Ooh, man.
This is when, see, y'all youngsters do the texting. This is when you had to talk to your girl on the phone. You put the tape deck on.
Played Tenderoni in the background.
And you talk to your girl.
Think about it, Ronnie.
You had your telephone girlfriend, man. Yeah. You was in love. But what was unique about that all three acts that I just named decided to go on tour.
Oh,
together.
man.
And the tour came to Tampa, Florida on a Friday night.
So did you go is the question.
I was playing football.
Oh.
And I was debating.
You just gonna skip the game, go to the
Skip
concert?
the game to go to the concert.
Fuck y'all niggas. I'm going to
It
see.
bugged me the hell. And then what was so sad is we lost. And my
I stayed
homeboy
here
on
for
the
this
bus.
bullshit?
You know how it is after you are losing on the bus. It's quiet.
Oh, man.
My homeboy Tony Jones, it's quiet. He say it. I bet you Bobby Brown, Alfred across the stage like
Man. And you know that the women's going to be ready after that concert. Ready. All the ones that got left to the side that Bobby and Mike and them didn't pick. Bro, you could have been in there just scooping them all up.
Man, it was the concert of the year. Everybody was talking
man.
about it. But I was like, when I saw the schedule, I said, no, not Friday night.
That Bobby Brown solo and that New Edition. Them are some classic R&B albums.
Bro, I watched the movie again this week.
watched
BET
documentary?
put it on again this week. And that's by far the best thing BET has ever done.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Like the casting,
exactly. Yeah,
It was
Exactly.
perfect.
Besides
except
playing-
for the moms. The
besides-
moms was horrible.
Yeah, besides playing Baby Boy on a regular basis.
I'm talking about
and that's not
I'm,
even theirs.
Right, I'm talking about that they actually
right,
put together.
yeah.
It's the best thing they've ever done.
Right.
That nigga Bobby boy was out of control,
Out of
boy.
control.
Hey man, shout out to Bobby, man.
Shout out to Bobby,
Shout out
man.
to
God
Bobby.
bless him.
His
Yeah, he
son
lost
passed
his
away
son.
this week, man, and that's got to be a tough thing to lose.
Yeah,
two
man.
of
God
your
bless
kids.
him. Shout out to him, and you know, pray for him and his family. But man,
New
that
Edition
cat
is
was
the
out of control.
greatest
He was.
R&B bank group. because of what they did together
What they did
and
separately.
then separately.
It's hard to
They
argue
can do
with
their
that.
own tour
it's
with no opening act.
It's hard to argue that.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
It's hard to argue against it.
You know, so that was it was. And it was what was so funny about that tour was, you know, Bobby was doing his whole thing. He was a part of New Edition at one time. They had just got Johnny Gill, and they were like, you know, on one of these shows, Bobby gonna get back with the boys. You didn't know which show it was. Yeah, he was, you know what I mean? So
He didn't know what show it was.
he didn't know what show it was, but yeah, that's mine, man.
But we talking about like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis
Yes,
produced that New Edition album.
yes,
Then produced BBD. Then produced Janet Jackson. Them cats was anyway.
yeah.
Whew.
Chuck, what you got this week?
Man, how do I even top that? I don't really know.
I mean, mine is gonna be like some regional shit, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna be in love on mine.
You ain't gonna be mad that you went to you played the football game instead of going to the concert for the hoes.
Yeah, man, I
For the hoes.
may be in love on week 3 episode,
You
but
got your wife beat on.
but you know, I was gonna go New York with my pick, but these cats dropped a new album this week or last week actually, and I listened to it on the way up here, and it made me obviously think about their first, second, third album, and I go back to I was on Southern Playalistic, you know what I'm saying, you know my freshman senior year of high school. So I think last week what I said AT Aliens was my album. That Soul Food Goodie Mob album, man. To me, it was probably one of the albums that with the title of the album fit perfectly. Because they although they was in the same crew, with Outkast was a little bit different. It was a different take on their experience in Atlanta as opposed to what you know the Southern Playalistic was. And it was just perfect, man. It was perfect. It was a perfect album from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? I think them cats. It's hard to put a whole, you know, too many other debut albums up against, you know, Southern Playalistic and Soul Food because it was just that good. Live from the Omni is a song that, man, it make
1 million niggas inside.
Man, if I hear it now,
You can't break me.
I'm looking for somebody to punch in the face when I hear that song, dog. Because you can't break me even though you tried. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's like that cell therapy when
what
scene unfolds. Young girl.
Did you hear before you heard that? You heard nothing else like that before ever. When Cujo started that thing off with half his hair braided, looking crazy, like, man, who are these cats?
I thought that was because it was funny when I saw the video. I didn't realize that was the same cats that was on Southern
Playalistic, yeah.
Playlist. And I was like, you know, just back in the Rap City days, all you youngsters, it was a video show that came on BET every afternoon. Had my VHS tape ready. So when
ready to record that.
Bro, when you think about Cell Therapy, you think about CeeLo's verse in Cell Therapy.
Sometimes I don't even know how I'm gonna eat. About $20 away from being on the street.
That wasn't the line for me. The line for
Might
me
see a
was
nigga on TV, but hell, it's almost like I'm rapping for free.
Bro,
that
when
little
CeeLo
money be gone.
when CeeLo
God
said,
damn it, I'm grown.
Gotta help keep the heat
and the lights on.
Bro, when CeeLo said, me and my family moved in the apartment complex. The gate with the serial code was put up next. They claim that this community is so drug-free, but it don't look that way to me. Bro, he told everybody's story.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't drug-free because they was piping it in there to us. You know what I'm saying? So, although Outkast was educating us on, you know, player shit and, you know, hoes and everything else.
First there was some pimps.
Yeah.
Then there was
With some
genies,
aliens and genies and
now there was
shit.
some black rights
Soul
shit.
Food gave respect to the South on
It
consciousness.
did.
Soul
And
Food
CeeLo still don't get. I feel like
don't
CeeLo
get his
still don't
credit.
get the respect that he
does
deserves.
not get it.
as a
It's
rapper.
It's because he started singing.
It is.
Right.
Had CeeLo
And it got weird.
CeeLo continued to rap,
I still feel like you put him in any circle.
put in his circle. CeeLo,
and he gonna hold his
he
own
gonna
with
hold his
anybody.
own. He might out rap a couple of them. motherfuckers.
Oh, he will. He will.
Man.
So
yeah,
Who's the weakest link in Goodie Mob?
easy.
Timo.
Timo. Come on, man.
Timo hands down.
Weakest link is CeeLo, Gibb, Cujo,
Then
and
Timo.
Timo.
Nah,
Timo will
Gibb
come in.
better than Cujo.
Yeah,
Gipp is number
Gipp's
two.
two.
Oh,
Gipp
me
two.
too. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Gipp's
Gipp
two.
behind
Yeah,
CeeLo.
Because Gipp was solo.
Right, he was with
Right.
somebody else.
Timo and Cujo was a group. CeeLo was on his own, and Gipp was on his own, and then they just said, let's just get it together.
Get it together.
Easy, Timo.
Timo's the weakest link.
But you can't have Goodie Mob without.
Can't
Timo.
have him
No,
without
you
him.
can't. You can't.
No, no. But
So how's the new one? I
it's
ain't know it
good, man.
dropped.
It's good, man. They was able to get Andre on the song.
What?
Andre's killing that thing. They got Big Boy on another song. They got Chuck D on the song, opening the album up for him. It's pretty good, man.
Okay,
It's pretty
I got it.
good.
Better
Pretty
than
good.
Busta Rhymes. Anyway,
Better than that Jeezy.
Busta
That's
Rhymes
a whole nother conversation.
disappointed me.
Terrible.
it was.
But it is what it is.
It's. It's Busta, man.
Yeah.
It'll never be a extinction level event.
No.
One.
But Goodie Mob Soul Food will never get old to me.
Nah, the first two Goodie Mob albums are classics.
Hands down.
Still standing.
Hands down. What you got, bro? What you got? What you want?
I'm like I said, I'm gonna keep it regional, and I'm gonna keep it to Florida, more specifically the bottom, as they say in their album, Dade County. Now, Florida is known for, back then in the late '80s to early '90s, it was
Big booty hole.
hump, booty shake,
Bass.
bass in your trunk. But these cats came out kind of under 2 Live Crew. And see, that's 2 Live Crew was making a noise
Right.
and all the controversy. I'm going with Poison Clan.
Oof.
And what you have to understand is JT Money and Debonair, and there were some other members of the group, but JT Money and Debonair on 2 Low Life Mothers.
Oh man. But see, you got to be from Florida
that's
to
what I'm
really
saying, it's regional.
understand.
You have to be from Florida to really understand, like, oh, so this ain't just a booty shake album.
Oh
Right.
man.
2 Low Life Mothers, Spoil Rotten, Jerry Curl, talking about,
Poisonous mentality.
that was the next album.
Yeah.
Jerry Curl talking about how he brought a girl to the house and she got activated on the couch and mama told him not to bring the girl around him no more. Like, that shit everybody was going on. My personal favorite song on the album is The Bitch That I Hate. The Bitch That I Hate is some true ratchet Florida shit.
Oh,
You
man.
hear me? You got your girl cussing you out. You going back and forth with your girl. And each time you going back and forth with your girl, these niggas busting out, spitting out a rhyme.
Right.
Like, you know, Florida we weren't really used to that. So to get these cats to come in and then just start straight spitting and rhyming, they even, like, a lot of people don't even realize, I think they invented the word, might not have invented the word, but they made it popular down here in Florida, which is flogging,
Yeah.
faking, camouflaging, faking, right? They even did a freestyle where they was talking about, like, y'all New York niggas think y'all all that. Let me go ahead and kick these rhymes for y'all to let y'all know that we down here really
Man.
rapping about this shit.
I implore anybody. I know it's not on the album that you're talking about, but I implore anybody who's a rap fan to go and look up Action off of Poison's Mentality.
That's a dope song.
They talk about, they talk a lot about 50 Cent's How to Rob, and that was the original robbing song, was that Action. When he talked about going out and getting them books, folks don't know nothing about that either, unless you're from Florida. But man,
And then, too, they had a club banger summer anthem that you might still hear to this day, Dance All Night.
what?
Oh, my God. Dance All Night.
If anybody, folks that know, that follow Lil Duval, they know when Lil Duval's on Instagram hitting that creep dog, he's hitting that creep dog to Dance All Night
Dance All Night is what he's playing.
by the Poison Clan.
Man, I was the king in the club back then.
What?
I was 12 years old,
Man.
but I was at the skating rink. Dance All Night.
That's when I was about 16. We was able to sneak in to Uptown 21 about
Fresh
16
Tommy Hill figure,
on Sunday night. What?
creased jeans.
Man,
What?
trying to sneak a drink, boy.
I went to the club one time when I was like 18. This was years after. I seen one chick in the middle of the dance floor, and there was like 8 dudes around her dancing. I was like, yeah, this shit ain't for me, man.
Man,
I'm too young.
No.
It was level 2.
I came of age at about 17 at the zoo, and that was the first time
Lord
that I
have
was
mercy.
sexually assaulted in the club. See, folks know back in them days, the dudes, we got sexually assaulted just as much as the females
Yes.
did.
I got sexually assaulted in the country in Jacob, Florida, outside of Marietta. Me and my cousin, they took me to this club. It was like
In the woods?
In the woods. So we riding down the woods.
One
and then
door-
shit
they had-
just opens up, and you see this building in the middle of this big ass.
They
building.
had one door, one way in and one way
One
out.
way in, one way out. So we up. I'm standing
Folks
in the
die in
parking lot. We
places like
walking
that.
up. This chick looked me up and down. She pinched me on my ass. I'm like, well, what kind of shit is this here? What we got going on? We go in the club. I go in the bathroom. Niggas in there doing lines.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They're doing lines off the sink. I'm like, what
That's
kind
the
of country
old
shit is
Manilas
this?
back in the day.
Like, oh my god, yeah,
Good old days.
Yeah.
good old days.
Good old days.
But yeah, man, y'all check those albums out when you get a chance, man. And we highly recommend them.
For sure. For sure.
All right, so this
What we
gonna
got
go
up
ahead.
next?
Up next, we going into who you got.
Oh, man.
Here we go.
So I'm sure probably y'all was wondering why the hell we got this Burger King crown.
But whoa, Burger King crown.
That's what it looked like.
Hey man, call
It
it
damn
what you
sure ain't
want.
the crown that
Call it what
King
you
Jaffa had on. It ain't
My
even that.
son works.
It don't even look that good. But yeah, we got this Burger King crown up here, and as we say down in the
They don't
bottom,
want to put the chain on me because they
and
hate.
we say down the
I'll
bottom
put it on myself.
with this big Jesus chunk that
Hold on,
B's
hold
finna put on.
Hold on. Y'all hear it rattling. Y'all hear it rattling. That bit heavy.
It's gonna turn your shirt green. Not only your neck. But anyway,
The
so
Pick'em King has arrived.
B won the picks last
That's
week.
right. I was 5-2.
So he gets to wear the chunk and the crown and the biggie glasses.
You see it, recognize it. Come on with it. Your boy's here.
So what
know
was
what I'm
there?
saying?
So what was everybody's record, man?
So pulling up the rear was old. Snow
Don't
here
mention me, man.
He was 2-5 with his picks.
Woo!
You came in with a respectable 3-4, under 500 still.
Hey, I'm on the way.
You know, I came in 5-2, baby. I told y'all. Y'all picked at me about Florida.
That's
Not
just
to mention
'cause
you got on another Gator
Who
blue
gives a
shirt today.
flying It's a shirt. It was the only clean one I had. So I put it on. I need to do my laundry.
You do. If
So
I see
I-
another Gator blue shirt in here, we're gonna have a problem.
Man, we ain't gonna have no problems because I don't fight. And you got your pistol in the car, so I ain't got time for all that, man.
I
I'm
can
like,
run out and
I
get
think
it.
he got an Emmitt Smith jersey in his house.
Emmitt
definitely does.
Smith.
Eric
How-
Rhett,
how
probably.
dare
Eric Red.
Air Red Bucks jersey.
Okay, so you won.
I
Great.
won. So
Let's get to our picks for this week.
that's why I get to style a little bit. I get to stun on them hoes.
Oh man.
It's a nice chain too, man. It's got a little weight to it. Anyway,
That chain from the middle of the mall. My man broke out his calculator for you.
Yeah.
For you, my friend.
my friend.
$29.
You, my friend. For you. Since I know you.
For somebody else, $1,500. But you,
No tax.
No,
no
tax.
tax.
No tax.
just give me 30. Give me 30. Give me 30.
Okay.
I used to love going to Shalimar back in the day.
What? Shalimar. Anyway. Man, okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to it. So this week we want to start with our upset picks like we do every week. Chuck, who's your upset pick this week? Who you got?
We in college football, right?
You do whatever you. It doesn't have to be
But
college
we
football.
were going to say upsets in the NFL, really.
Right.
No, not
It's
really.
not really an upset.
No.
So mainly it'll be a lot of college games.
I feel you. So
Until maybe college basketball comes around and then there's a,
Right.
a game we can kind of see.
I got you. So I know we talked about my Florida State bias earlier in the show. I recently said this week on Twitter that I'm kind of letting them go. Like, peace sign.
You ain't no true fan.
I'm gonna holler at y'all in
ain't
the
no true
spring.
fan.
I'm gonna watch every week, but it's gonna be. I'm not putting my emotions into the games anymore.
Your expectations have been lowered.
They have to a certain degree.
Got it.
In saying that, I'm picking Florida State to beat Virginia.
Okay.
It's that don't even sound right. Like that don't even
doesn't.
sound right. That
It
doesn't
doesn't.
even sound like an
We're
upset pick.
upset picks.
But that's kind of where we are.
That's what we
Yeah.
are.
If Florida State beats Virginia, it will be
It's
an
an
upset.
upset.
Okay.
So I'm thinking after this week, with us being able to get another week of rest for Travis, I think we'll be able to get out there and beat Virginia pretty handedly.
All
So
right.
I'm picking
What
Florida
is
State
their
to beat
record?
Virginia.
What is Virginia?
It don't matter. They like 3-4
They're like
or
3 and
something
4.
like that.
They're
But we're
not-
2
they're
and
like-
6.
they're
That's why I
like
say it
one-
don't
they're
matter.
like- they- I think like 2 more games won than Florida State.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick Florida State over Virginia.
Florida State or Virginia. Slow,
Yeah.
who you got?
It was slim pickings.
It was.
I almost went to look at some MAC games. I was like, nobody cares. But it gives me something to watch on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. I ain't gonna lie, I love watching action. But I'm gonna go with West Virginia over Oklahoma.
Ooh, that's a true that's a sleep that's a true upset.
It would be a
pick.
true upset if they win that for sure.
Because Oklahoma's on the screen right now. They beating the shit out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
They's overrated though. So
Yeah, you know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So you going with West Virginia, Oklahoma? Okay.
what you got?
I'm going with LSU over Texas A&M. 7:00 game on ESPN.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, LSU's won 8 of the last 9 matchups they had, and the last time Texas A&M won was in 2018 when they had like that 7 overtime game. But since then, they've handled business 8 of the last 9 times. Now I think it's gonna be a tough call because LSU, after winning the championship last year, they kind of rebuilding. Not necessarily rebuilding, but they're reloading and getting their team together.
Right.
After losing a bunch of people to the draft. And also, 2 is going to be tough because A&M, they're undefeated at home this year. I think like 3-0 at home. So it's going to be a tough task. But I think it's always fuck Jimbo. Always.
And he's good for laying a few eggs.
He's good for laying a few eggs. I thought he was going to lay one last week against South Carolina, but he didn't. It's all good.
It's time for him to lay one.
I would have been 6-1 had that happened. But, whatever.
This cat would have had on a fake pinky ring. If he
I would have came in here. Let me stop.
Anyway.
Let me stop.
LSU pulled it out today too. So
Yeah, they won. So I'm gonna take them over Texas A&M next week.
I can get down with that. It's a good pick.
Okay.
What else we got?
So we get into our college picks. So next week we got Iowa State, number 17 right now, versus number 21 Texas.
It's a tough call because I forget the quarterback at Texas. Man, that cat.
Ellinger.
He'll put that team on his back at any given moment, and he's ready for a shootout. It looks like Iowa State's rolling right now. Would they beat Kansas State today? What you said?
45
to nothing.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a pretty good game. It'll probably be a battle back and forth. It'll probably be a shootout.
It's a Friday game too. 12
Friday game.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they playing? Do we know?
Texas.
I'm gonna give Texas to win. I pick Texas to win
All right.
because they're at home and because the quarterback's a little bit more battle tested.
Okay. Slow. Who you got?
Iowa State undefeated.
No.
I think they lost. They lost like 1 or 2. They lost like 2 games.
2 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were like against top opponents, so it wasn't like they dropped too far. They're number 17 right now.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't lose any bombs and like that.
It's how when those teams come off the big, they roll over a team, and then it's you don't want to call it a trap game, but it's a trap game. I'm gonna go with Texas too. I'm gonna go with Ellinger, the 30-year-old quarterback.
10-year senior.
Yeah.
I'm going with Chubba Purdy, brother. Give me Iowa State to win.
Okay. All right.
Can't
argue with it.
I just think Iowa State, after taking those 2 early losses early in the season, I think they just right now they're starting to pick up steam and getting where they need to be. So
Cool.
next game is going with number 2 Notre Dame versus North Carolina, Friday at 3:30.
Friday at
Chuck, who you
3:30.
got?
I forgot it's after
It's
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's why they got these games.
Where they playing at?
It's in North Carolina.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take North Carolina though,
Ooh.
because they're at home. I think Notre Dame is rolling. They do the lay an egg, so they're gonna lay an egg in North Carolina.
okay.
They always lose a game we don't expect them to lose. I think North Carolina's gonna be it. So I'm picking North Carolina.
North Carolina. Slow you got.
I was gonna go with Sam Howell too.
Really? Okay.
I totally agree with Chuck that this is that game that Notre Dame usually loses, and you know what? No,
Smart man.
I'm going with Notre Dame because in the Florida State in me, I'm going to go with Notre Dame because I need Notre Dame to win because I don't want Miami to think they any way close to the crown, and so yeah, because if I be watching it, I'll be trying to root for North Carolina. Like Notre Dame.
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's a more complete team and a better team than North Carolina. North Carolina still has some defensive issues, but I just think Notre Dame is still playing good football, complete football. They got a quarterback who's not going to turn it over, an experienced older quarterback. So I'm going with Notre Dame.
Good pick.
So the next game is the old Iron Bowl, Auburn versus Alabama, Saturday at 3:30, and it's in Alabama.
Alabama's gonna win. Next pick. Like,
Alabama's gonna roll.
do we even need to talk about it?
Yeah.
You're right. They're gonna roll.
Yeah. Next.
Alabama all the way around. Jeez. Okay. Trying to steal my shine, dog. You don't want me on camera looking good.
I mean,
Take Auburn.
Yeah, pick Auburn. Go against the grain, bro.
I'm good.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm good. I ain't that dumb. I didn't go 5-2 for it.
And they,
Dummy.
Auburn beat Alabama last year too, didn't they? So Nick Saban got payback.
Yeah.
You got get back.
You gonna try to bust the clock on that?
Yeah.
Didn't they put up 60 this week though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
63.
I'm going to Alabama. I ain't stupid.
That's why I said next.
All right, now let's get into these NFL picks, and I think these are going to be a little bit more interesting than the college picks we had. So we got coming up. So disclaimer, we're taping right now. It is Saturday, and we got we're picking NFL games that's going to be tomorrow. So by the time the show drops, you'll know, of course, who's won. So we're gonna go with the first NFL game is the Titans at 6-3 versus the Ravens at 6-3, 1:00 in Baltimore.
That makes a difference. They're playing in Baltimore. I feel like Baltimore's reeling from losing to New England last week.
They're reeling.
So they have to put it together this week. They have to. If they lose this week, it may be over for them. So I think that they're gonna put all their eggs in the right basket this week and pick Baltimore to win at home.
Baltimore's got to stop the run. They did a horrible job against New England last week, and they don't even have a bell cow at running back. But they already know what's coming tomorrow. And plus, he did them in the playoff game. So I'm going to go with Baltimore putting it together. Lamar Jackson having a better game. I'm going with the Ravens.
I'm kind of gonna agree with y'all because I kind of see Lamar bouncing back. He's getting a lot of criticism for not being able to throw the ball deep, and there's a lot of short passes, a lot of runs, and they're calling Greg Roman's offense predictable. Which after their last loss, that you started to hear some of that chirping. So Harbaugh, being the good coach that he is, I think is gonna go to Greg Roman and say, "Hey, switch this shit up. Let's sprinkle in this, add this." So I'm going with the Ravens at home too. And plus, like you said, they beat them last year in the playoffs, embarrassed them. So I think they got payback on their mind, and also to get back on track because they can't fall too far behind in the division, especially with Pittsburgh being
Right.
No, they lose. They lose this week. It's over.
It's over. All right, game number 2, 4:25 game. We got the Packers at 7-2 versus the Colts at 6-3. Who you got?
Where they playing at?
It's in Indianapolis.
Because it makes a difference to me. I don't think that Indianapolis has an answer for Devontae Adams. I think they're going to be able to score just enough to pull it out. I'm going to pick Green Bay.
So you going with Green Bay? You going Indianapolis?
I'm going Green Bay.
You going Green Bay? Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think they have an answer for Devontae Adams, and I think they'll score just enough points to win the game.
I was thinking about how I was going to stunt at the end of this segment, but go ahead.
I'm sick of you already, dog.
The Pick'em King.
Indianapolis is supposed to have a pretty decent defense this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, they are, right?
Yeah. But I don't think they have a corner that can, I mean, it's just crazy how you know who's getting the ball and they can't stop
Nothing you can do about it.
They can't
Ain't nothing you can do about
it. Plus, Aaron Jones is back. I think they got a little bit more balance. I'm good with Aaron Rodgers. We're
going to complete it and go with I'm going with the Packers, too. Like you said, Aaron Jones is coming back. A-Rod is playing damn good ball. After that Bucks debacle, he picked it up and really started to get his numbers back up and play very good football. So I'm going with the Packers too as well.
Cool.
All right, last game that we're gonna pick from. We got the Chefs at 8-1 versus the Raiders at 6-3 on 3:30. 3:30 game. Keep in mind the first time they played this year, the Raiders did beat the Chiefs.
And I think that's why the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders tomorrow. I think there's no way that Andy Reid's going to let John Gruden beat him a second time in the season. I think there's no way Pat Mahomes is going to be able to go down, going to allow the team to go down to the Raiders a second time. I think he's going to put the team on his back. He's probably going to throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to be able to get into the offense a little bit more this week and really take the Raiders, Raiders will be off balance, trying to deal with Le'Veon and deal with Pat Mahomes throwing the ball and Tyreek Hill. They just got too many weapons. So I'm going to pick Kansas City to redeem themselves.
Yeah, David, and I always get them mixed up. It's David at Raiders, right? Not Derek. Derek is the older brother, right?
Derek is the older.
Yeah.
David Carr played out of his mind that game.
Yeah, they put up a 45 that game?
Yeah, 45. I think he had 400 yards passing. I don't think he even came close to those stats, none this year. But I did start him in fantasy because I know he's going to have to throw a lot to keep up with Patrick Mahomes. I totally agree with you, Chuck. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, my opinion. And, yeah, Chiefs going to run away with it.
You're going to have to pick against us to keep your lead. So.
Right.
Not necessarily, because if I pick what y'all pick and everybody has the same record, I'm
Well, we
still
all-
in the lead. That is a strategy, too.
But, I mean,
I could be wearing this next week.
You got a chance. I mean, you got some.
I'm good.
You
Stop-
got some
Look,
cushion. Jump out the window.
Look, stop trying to talk me into getting my numbers down because you right there with me at 3 and 4.
I'm just saying, bro.
I mean,
Take
I'm
some
good.
chances. Roll the dice.
I'm not dumb. I'm gonna go with the Chefs over the Raiders. Like you said, they beat them last time. Like you said, also too, Andy Reid's not gonna let David Carr and John Gruden beat him again. And the first game was a shootout anyway, and they still had a chance to win.
Right.
So I'm going with the Chiefs over the Raiders to go in and win that. So that'll do it for this week's Who You Got. Pick'em King is signing off. Hopefully next week I'll be wearing all this again. I think I'm gonna get me a championship belt and have it engraved with my name on it.
Okay, yeah. So,
Who's that lady?
Yeah, can we get into who's that lady?
Who's that lady?
'Cause I'm
that
sick of
lady?
you already, bro.
Damn.
All right. So
The lady you picking was imaginarily was my lady too.
she could be your lady.
No, I'm
She
good,
back
man.
on the team now. And let's get into
Anyway.
it, man. As y'all know, who's that lady is a time where we a segment where we shout out a different woman in sports. This week we are going to basketball. We were in track and field last in week 1. Week 2 we're gonna be in basketball. And the lady we're shouting out is Miss Sheryl Denise Swoops. Sheryl Swoops.
Nice.
Yes, sir. She was born on March 25th, 1971 in Brownfield, Texas. Shout out to the Aries. She was the first player to ever sign in WNBA. She's a 3-time MVP and was named top 15 player of all time. She won 3 gold medals, and she's one of 10 women to actually win an Olympic gold medal, the NCAA title, and a WNBA title. Only 10 women have done that, and she's one of them. When she was at Texas Tech, I apologize. She was the best player in the country. She dropped 53 on Texas in 1993, which at that time was a record for the school. She averaged 35 for the tournament that same year. And she also won Player of the Year in 93 as well. And probably the biggest and probably one of the accomplishments she's most proud of, I would guess, is that she was the first woman to have her own shoe, the Air Swoops, named after her, thanks to our favorite company,
Yes.
Nike, of course. And in 2016, she was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. So we want to shout out Sheryl Swoops, give her flowers. She's still here. I believe she's coaching back at Texas Tech now.
Okay.
So shout out to her and all her accomplishments. Much love from the OG Sports Show. We appreciate everything that you contributed to the game.
From the Pick'em King, Cheryl, we love you.
Anyway. Well, that's it, fellas. That wraps up week 2, man. Y'all good? We feel good about what we
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm just, I'm ready to eat already. It's Thanksgiving.
I feel you. So
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I
happy
just wanna
Thanksgiving to everybody out there. One
Shout
love.
out all the Lexington Terry fans that listen to the show. Lexington Terry people. One love.
Yeah,
For
shout out to
sure.
everybody who paid attention to our first episode. We really appreciate y'all, man. Hope we can continue to give y'all good content and keep y'all entertained. The Pick'em King is here to stay.
Okay, we hear one more thing from the pick. Once again, everybody, we want y'all to subscribe to SVM's YouTube channel. If you haven't already, check out not just us, but everybody else we have on tap within the family. And we're going to get back with y'all in week 3.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Peace out.
Pick 'em, King.